Good morning everyone, we are back in Manila City, specifically at Manila Bay Walk, and this is my first time back here since Mayor Isko took his position, and I was very curious to see how is Manila City now. And I tell you what, the streets are not full of garbage anymore. Before, every morning when we used to go here, it was really depressing because you drive around and you see all this garbage all over the streets. It's not like that anymore. There are piles, so there's still a little bit of work to be done, but compared to before, it's a complete change. Down here you will see a lot of garbage. Well, that's normal because whenever the rains come, the heavy rains, it gets washed up and it goes onto the beach. But that's actually good because if you've seen in my previous videos, it's so hard when you go out on a boat and you've got a net and you're trying to capture garbage. It's very difficult. But when it's here, all you need is a team of dedicated volunteers or MMDA, or over there there's some Manila City DPS. So that's all you need, is a lot of people to come and clean this up. So that's what we're covering today, the continuation of Manila Bay Rehabilitation. For the longest time, the DPWH were using these for their desilting process along here because they've been digging up and removing a lot of the silt and everything like that. But they've also got the big green mean machine, which we haven't actually seen in action yet. We've seen some videos, but we haven't seen it ourselves in action. But this one's very clever because it can be a digger. It can also suck up through a network of pipes. It's a multi-function machine. It's a little bit expensive, but it's about buying the right equipment for the right job. So yes, they are also using heavy machinery to get the job done. And talking about big green mean machines, you'll see that the Star 8 electric bike is here also. I haven't said too much about this yet because I really want to put it through its paces before I say too much. But so far it is pretty impressive. The biggest question from most people will be about range or range anxiety. Is it going to get me where I need to go on one charge? And over here you'll see a couple of ladies from the MMDA HP SEPO have just arrived. They're anti-littering, anti-smoking in public places, especially around commuter centres. So it's good that they're also here nice and early. Actually, we're a little bit too early, but I like to get here, you know, before everyone else and see everything being set up and just have a look around. So over here you'll see the DPS from Manila City. Some of them are focusing on the wood and the bamboo. That primarily comes from fish traps and informal settlers living along the waterways. The others are picking up plastic and things like that. And over here in the blue shirts and the yellow shirts are the MMDA, and they're picking up plastics also. It might not look like there's too many people here at the moment, but it's only around 6 AM. And aside from this area, over there at Manila Yacht Club, there's more MMDA and another volunteer tent. And way over there, Passeco Beach, there's more MMDA. There should be a lot there, so we'll go there later. So we're now here at Esteros de Abad, and apparently there's going to be a big volunteer effort here today along with the MMDA. But it looks pretty clean, so let's wait and see exactly where they're going to be cleaning. Apparently Land Bank will be donating 2 PET bottle boats to the MMDA today. This is where they're collecting the bottles. It says, let's convert PET bottles into rescue boats. Donate 4 boats to the MMDA and DPWH. And I just spoke to one of the guys that's making these, and what he told me is it takes 1 day to weld together this structure here. You can see there's 4 of them right now. And then it takes 2 days to actually put together all the bottles, so tying them together and fixing them to this structure. But that's based on one man doing it. So if you have multiple guys doing it, I assume they can get the job done faster. So you'll see the process starts over here. They're preparing the rope, cutting it to the correct length. On the next station, they're removing the labels, tightening the lids, making sure they're ready. On the next station, they're tying them into strings, and then on the final station, they'll tie all those strings together to make the final boat. So over here, this man has experience in making this kind of boat, and he's teaching Land Bank employees and MMDA about how to also make them. So they're doing strings of bottles here on the table. He's showing them how they have to be tied and everything like that. So over here, you'll see a sample of one of the finished strings. They're making multiple of these so they can tie together later. I spoke to someone from Land Bank Corporate. They told me they can make 1 boat in 2 hours if they have enough people. So hopefully in a couple of hours we'll see one of these boats finished. So over here there's a lot of MMDA and DPWH, although I assume there's going to be a lot more later because look at how many tables are set up here. Apparently they're going to make some kind of ball to throw into the estero, and I guess that's why there's going to be so many volunteers and other people here. I don't actually know what this stuff is, but it really smells terrible. but I'm thinking it must be something to clean the water somehow. So let's see if we can go and find some more information about that. They're meant to take this out, put it on the table, and then make much larger balls with it apparently. Over here you see an example where they're putting together the balls, and here's a bunch that are already finished, and many have already been boxed up and are being put into containers to be taken away. So over here you see an example of the finished product. They call these mabuhay balls. There's a bacteria that's growing on them, that's why they look kind of furry, and they told me that they throw these in the water and then it eats the bad bacteria, the fecal matter and everything like that. They're not yet sure if these are suitable for salt water, but they said they are suitable for esteros and things like that. So yeah, very interesting. Since it's going to take a while for them to make the boats, we came back to Bay Walk, and you'll see the Philippine National Police are here helping to clean up, plus another volunteer group. Let's take a closer look. So those in the white shirts are from QC Styro Packaging Company, so corporate volunteers. And another thing I've noticed is the traffic is nowhere near as bad as before. There's still some illegally parked vehicles, especially tricycles, but it's nowhere near as bad as before. Everything feels so much closer. Before, you're going a short distance, it's still going to take you 15, 20, 30 minutes. Now it takes a couple of minutes. I don't know if that's the same for every day, but for sure I can already feel the difference. And I actually saw an MTPB clearing operation, anti-illegal parking operation, somewhere over there. I wasn't able to capture it on camera. But yeah, they must really have a lot of groups going around doing it, and you can feel the difference. When you clear the roads of illegal parking, you can feel the difference. When you remove vendors from the road, you can feel the difference. And back here on Bay Walk, you'll see members of the Lions Club, Muntinlupa, and they've been collecting trash. You'll see there's a lot of bags here. So yeah, Lions Club ends up in one of my videos again. That's very good. And they've actually brought food and drink for MMDA and other volunteers, so I'm going to try it out myself. They told me it's vegetarian, there's no meat or seafood. So over here you'll see the DPS are loading stuff onto this scoop, and then they're dumping it into this truck here. So take away the bigger items, especially the heavy logs and things like that. And this might be the longest piece of bamboo that I've ever actually seen in person. I know they grow long, I've seen it on TV, but wow. We're now on Baseco Beach. You'll see two of the MMDA rescue boats going out now. They're not just for rescue, they also use them for inspections of properties, informal settlers along the waterways. They use them for collecting garbage and things like that. And there's a lot of white shirts over here. I assume they've been clearing, what does this say? Eye Care Awareness Month. So if you see all the white shirts there, they're a company handling IMO, which is a local, I think, eye drop medicine. I could be wrong. And not only are they collecting garbage, but they're also doing tree planting, so we'll go and see that in a few minutes too. So this is what the boats are doing. They're collecting all this from the water and bringing it back, which is a good idea because this can cause a lot of problems with transport of vessels, even in like the Pasig River for example. And yeah, good. Over here you'll see some of the other MMDA boats. They're made out of plastic and they're very tough. You can pretty much do anything to these and they're near indestructible. They've got their little scoops over here for getting stuff out of the water. You saw them in here last time we were here trying to remove all the waste and garbage. And over here you'll see a free water station from Manila Water, so I'll top up my bottle here. It's pretty tiring work under the sun, but it's good. A lot of volunteers I've seen today. For a while things slowed down, but it seems like everyone's in full gear again, which is really good to see. And aside from using the hands, they've got the rakes of course, and volunteers are also welcome to borrow the tools from the MMDA. They always bring extra so that everyone can work to their maximum. And over here you'll see a group of high school students. They just arrived and they're doing their part cleaning up. It's always good to see the younger audience here because they are the future after all. Aside from all the garbage along the waterway, there's a lot of garbage over here. And you know what, I think there might be more than last time. The truth is a lot of people are not responsible with their garbage, especially those that are living along the waterways. They often just throw a whole bag of garbage in, or Estero de Magdalena for example. I've been standing there making a video and then I see a bottle fly out the window or some polystyrene food container, and even when people are there making videos or big media companies and things like that, they don't care. They just chuck it out the window as if it's completely normal. Over here there's 3 young children digging down, and what they're doing is pulling up worms and taking them for fishing, so that's cool. I wasn't sure at first, but I just confirmed these are water lilies, and as you'll know, they also collect these along Pasig River and then they dry them under the sun, and then they make bags and other products out of them as part of a livelihood program. So hopefully they'll be doing the same with these. They'll be drying them out and putting them to good use, because you know, as much as possible you want to recycle and upcycle, even if it's a plant product. In fact, here's a sample of those water lilies that are being dried in another area. So they will dry this and then make it into a useful product. Very, very cool. Another thing you might remember from my videos way back are these chairs. They're actually made out of plastic. And for the longest time I tried to connect with the people behind this, but so far no luck. I really want to go to their factory or their warehouse and show how they make these out of recycled plastic. They melt it down and then press it into chairs. It's really cool. Chairs for school children. In fact, here's a closer look at one of those chairs. You can see on the back it says school chair from plastic waste. And these chairs really are tough. Even for adults sitting in these, they're really tough because it's solid plastic and then it's a really good construction. So yeah, I really do like these. So actually they've already finished the tree planting. You can see some new ones over here and some more over here. I just spoke to the barangay chairman, and one of the things I asked was, how about the children's park over there on the right side with the slides? It's full of garbage. And he told me, well, it's still under rehabilitation. I don't know. It's not that hard to get some people from the barangay to clean up a children's park that's full of garbage. I know they have so much to do, especially in somewhere like Baseco, but I don't know. And over here you'll see spinach, eggplant and okra, and the barangay captain reminded me that the reason why they're growing these kind of vegetables is they have a feeding program for the barangay. So that is really a big thumbs up. Growing local, feeding local, very, very cool. So over here you'll see a pile of garbage that's already been collected. I was told there's around 186 volunteers today and 96 MMDA. Of course, that's just for this specific area, this part of Baseco Beach. There's a lot of volunteers and MMDA in other parts of Manila City also. So yeah, it's really, really good to see everyone coming out and doing their part. So a big thank you to everyone who gave up their time. So two boats just came back in now, PRRC, DNR and MMDA. They were doing an ocular inspection of the waterways. I don't know if they also took water samples, because they do take regular water samples to test if there's any improvement in contaminants. If you look on the road here, you'll see it's flooded because the water has overflowed and it's actually broken down the wall here. So I think the DPWH or someone will have to come in and fix this. You can see where it's broken down and it's flooding over. Even the sidewalk here is caved in, collapsed, and it's flooded. So we're now back in Estero de Abad, and you'll see there's a lot more people helping with the boats now. So over here's an example of a boat that's nearly finished. I do wonder if it might be easier and safer just to kind of put a piece of marine plyboard here to block them in so there's no way the bottles can escape. Then you wouldn't even have to worry about tying them either. But I'm not an engineer and I've never made boats, so maybe this is the best way to do it. So we're now heading towards Estero de Binondo because I saw some photos that it's really clean at the moment. You might remember that this is Juan Luna, and before it would take you like an hour just to get, I don't know, halfway, because it was full of vendors and traffic just couldn't pass through. Apart from these jeepneys stopping to unload passengers, it looks really clear. So let's go. Well, this is disappointing. There's a lot of garbage here, like a lot. You'll see they have installed a garbage trap there and maybe over there. That's why it's bunching up, and same thing down here. That's a little bit disappointing, honestly. But at least Juan Luna was much, much better. Before it used to take forever because of the traffic and the vendors in the road and stuff. There's still some illegal parking and a couple of vendors on the sidewalk, but it's like 1,000,000,000% better than before. So obviously on this side street things are a little bit different and it's a bit congested, but at least it's not a main road, so we'll get through this pretty quick. It's further along and you can see actually there's a man here, looks like he's from the barangay, and he must have gone out and collected all that garbage. That's good. Really, for the longest time I've been a little bit disappointed with some of the barangays around Manila City not doing their fair share, but yeah, very good to see. And I guess they're going to be doing some desilting with this big old monster over here. And over here you'll see one of the MMDA pumping stations, nicely painted. It's part of an art project for all of the pump stations. They're for flood control, but you'll see there's a lot of water lilies here also. And the problem with having them here is they block the MMDA ferry, the river ferry. So that's another thing, another area that they have to kind of manage. But the main section where boats pass seems to be clear, so fingers crossed. Anyway, I think that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up, please share it so everyone can be aware of what's going on. I am personally so happy with the difference in Manila City. It's not perfect, but you can never get perfection. It is a million times better, a million times cleaner than before. So thanks for watching. And for anyone wondering about the Green Ranger, survived just fine, a little bit muddy. Right now the voltage is 70.8 volts. This went from Quezon City Hall to Manila City, Bay Walk, then to Estero de Abad, then to Baseco, then back to Estero de Abad, back to Bay Walk, then to Juan Luna and Estero de Binondo, and then back here to Petron just near Quezon City Hall. So it's done, I would guess, around 55 to 60 kilometers today, and it's still got some juice left in it. And yeah, like I said, I'm not planning to say too much about the bike yet because I really want to give it a good test before I say too much, but for now it is doing very well.